You released this report on children being used as child bombers. How did the UN arrive at this conclusion?
Well, there's a network of people who report on things like this. There's actually something that exists in many different countries called the Monitoring and Reporting Mechanism, and this is essentially a network of people who report on events such as these when a child is used as a human bomb. There are many different eyewitnesses, for example, people who work at hospitals, for example, and it's confirmed, it's double checked, so that we are very sure of these numbers. And sadly, as you say, these numbers are increasing at an alarming rate.
June, how is it that children are susceptible to being used? How is this happening?
Well, we believe that they're being used probably for two main reasons. Probably the first reason was that children were less likely to be stopped by security forces. Most of these bombs, as you know, are exploded in crowded areas, in civilian areas. And so children were probably used to get past security forces guarding these places. Another reason, of course, is likely to be that children are more easily coerced, forced, tricked, sometimes they're drugged into being used in this way. We know that a lot of children aren't really aware of what they're doing, and in some cases, for example, we know that children probably don't even know that they're carrying explosives. So the most important thing really to remember when we're thinking about these children is that they are children. They are victims in these cases, are not perpetrators.
We do know that the government will look into this report, but in the meantime, what can be done to reduce the number of children being used by the insurgents?
Well, it's very difficult to know what can be done to reduce the number of children used in this atrocious way. In the meantime, one of the things that we can do and are doing is to work very closely with children who have been released from or rescued from to provide them with psychological support. We know that over the last 8 years, there are approximately 8,000 children have been when they come out, because of this youth of mentioned in your introduction, they're viewed with suspicion and fear. And so, as well as working with the children to provide psychological support to them to try to help them get over some of the traumatic experiences that they had, we're also working with communities themselves, with community leaders in particular, religious leaders or community elders, with prominent women in communities, to try to get the community members to understand what the children have been through, to accept them as victims, and so that they can ease the reintegration. And we're working with communities on several different levels, and including making sure that there's education available for the children who've been held by Boko Haram, also for members of the communities that they're returned to, and also through livelihood support, helping make it possible for children to work, the older children who might be more ready to start work rather than go back into school. And we're working both with the children themselves and with the community to try to reduce that suspicion and fear and stigma that these children have.
Right, thank you so much for your thoughts on that. June Porter speaking to us from Abuja.